Now you look here in this program. Listen now. Now we are going to plot the digital architecture that we designed actually using this program for this LCD interface, and then display the numbers 6-digit decimal number 000000 to 99999. Again, it will keep repeating this counting. So look here. In this case, no, we have initialized the counter value is 0. D naught equal to initially. D naught is initial value is 001100. That means 30. This is 3. 00113. 000 is 0. So the counting starts from the 30 initial value, then 31, 32, 33, 34 till 39. Again, it becomes a 30. That is the way how we are initializing the counter to 30 here now, right? So can you tell me why we should start our count from 30? Why not from 0? Because we want see this digit should this digit. This digit is there now. There are 6 digits actually. There are 6 digits, something like this. This is for D0. This is for D1. This is for D2, D3, D4, and then D5. So total 6 digits are there. But every counter is allowed here to count from 30 to 39. Why 30 to 39?
ASCII.
Because of ASCII. Very
Characters.
good. Because of ASCII. So whenever I send, suppose say 30 is the D naught count value. If I load this value directly into LCD, 0 will be printed there. That is the reason why do we start from 30 to 39 is our value now. Initially this 30, 39. Again next one will become 31, then 39, then third one will become 31. Understood? No? So it is something like this now. That is the reason why we do our counting right from the 30 here. So now we needed to draw the architecture. So as I told you, every process in the VHDL is a module in the digital implementation. Finally, it is a block. It is a module there. So look there. So if you look here, see the first process is digital clock manager. So we have drawn the digital clock manager here now. This is the DCM. DCM1. The input to DCM1 is the external input. External input is the input into the DCM. Then the DCM generates a clock underscore signal 0. This is the clock underscore signal 0 is the output of this DCM now. Then that output goes into the state transition module. This is called state transition module because this module only will transfer the next state into present state whenever the rising edge comes from the clock signal 0. So this is the state transition. Then this state transition value, the present state value goes into another module where we take the decision. If it is S0, this will be done. S1, this will be executed. So this whole module is a multiplexer unit. It is a multiplexer unit. Therefore, we have drawn it as a multiplexer here, right? And then the inputs, now we stored some C value, we stored some D value. So this is the C value which goes into the multiplexer. 3 bits. This is C. And also one D value is going there. This is the D, right? This is in 8-bit. Oh, sorry.
Paper is bit up, sir.
Okay.
Not visible.
Abhi theek hai?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this multiplexer now, these values are going into this multiplexer now. So the C value and the D value, right? The D value is coming out here. This is the coming out here. So based on this value, this fellow will load the value. Something present state is the selective line here. So that one is coming here also. So based on this present state value, if it is S1, some value will go here, that value will come out. If it is S1, some value will come out. So CD is our final output. C and D is our final output now. And this control and data memory also gets some data from the counters. So not only the internal memory value, it is also getting some values. They are D0 CNT, D0 CNT, D1 CNT, D2, D3, D4, and D5. This may be D2 CNT, D3 CNT, D4 CNT, and D5 CNT now. Right. These are all the input that is coming from the another section now. All are parallelly working. Right. That is the main one of the advantages of our FPGA. So all these counters are working D0, D1, D2, D3 now. So all these counters are working. This is going there. Then this clock 1 is coming here, and clock 2 is coming here, clock 3 is coming here, and clock 4 is coming there. Clock 4 goes into the clock 4 is going into the fifth display now. So these displays are working with respect to all these rising edges now. Now this value D0 CNT is going here, and then D1 CNT is going there, and D2 CNT is coming from here, D3 CNT is coming from here, and D4 CNT coming from here, and then D5 CNT is coming from here now, right? Coming from here. So our FPGA is here. This is our FPGA. You clearly listen. I will draw the architecture for one example. Remaining example you all should draw. So this is the FPGA now. This is what we build now. This is our FPGA. Right? There is only two inputs, clock and reset, and then two outputs, C and D. This is in 3-bit, this is in 8-bit. Right? Reset and clock are the single bit now. So this is what we called digital architecture. Digital architecture for this application. What application? For counter, 6-digit counter. Not a 6-bit, 6-digit counter plus a LCD display. This is the digital architecture that we actually build now, right? So you might have heard that microprocessor architecture, microcontroller architecture, no? Because this kind of architecture is already built and then kept inside the chip. Therefore, we had the architecture. But for FPGA, there is no any standard architecture. Only the CLPs are there. Only flip-flops, mux, lookup table. Only those resources are there inside the FPGA. Therefore, there is no any standard architecture for that. So we are free to build any kind of architecture inside the FPGA based on our application. So for this kind of application, this is the actual architecture we build. This is the actual architecture we build now. All of you understood now? Hello, all of you got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you needed to plot this architecture also ultimately now, so that you can see there are two things now. One is if you are very good at VHDL design, in the beginning you can draw the architecture. Before writing the program, you can think the logic in your mind and you can draw the architecture also. Here multiplexer, here counter, here shift register, here memory, right? There is adder, there is a multiplier, divider, exponential operator, filter. So you can make the architecture on the paper before writing the program. But since we are all in the initial stage, so better you complete the program, then you go back and then draw the architecture. Ultimately, your tool will make this kind of architecture only in the FPGA now. Low-level implementation, tool will optimize and then it will implement it. But if you this kind of architecture only will be created because these are all the signals and these are all the variable signals, control blocks we are using inside this design for controlling this counting as well as sending that value into our FPGA now, right? So for every applications we needed to plot the digital architecture for that. So this is very much essential for your publications also. Suppose if you want to publish some papers in conference or in the journal, move into vending machine controller.
Sir,
Hmm.
yesterday QC students were not there in the starting when you explained the digital architecture, sir. So,
Oh. Yeah, any doubt for these people?
We didn't get anything.
Acha, for here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I will repeat.
Sir,
Okay. But you are giving me only 1 hour today, man. Okay, no problem. Okay, now I will share my screen. No issue. Your entire screen. Share. Are you getting my screen now?
yes,
All of
sir.
you? Okay. Now, see, we have built the program here and we got this architecture also. We got this architecture. I mean, we have designed the program for application. So what is that application? You all of you read this one. This is a statement given you. That means this is the industrial requirement. We needed to build a digital system for this one. Okay, that means what is our requirement now? One 2 by 16 by 2 LCD is given you, and you needed to print there. You need to print the value, the counter in the first row, right? And the value is in the second row. The value is in the second row, right? That means the statement, the counter value is in the second row. And then we got to display the value 00000 to 9999. Again, you continue this operation now. That is the intention now. So therefore, we needed to build it two major sections in this application. One part will take care of LCD interface, and another part will have a counting part, right? So like that, the many major parts. So all things are in there. So this part we see this one we have seen.
Sir.
Okay. So one are main now. That means initial say, and we are printing the value. After this one, then one value D5 first, then D4, because it is like this. The printing will be in the LCD like this. This is the LCD. The counter value is, right, colon. Now, this is a digit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is obviously MSD, most significant digit. So here we need to print T5CNT. That means fifth counter value. Here D4CNT. Here D3CNT. And like that D2, D1, and then D0 now. And then D0. So when we print here, value is colon. The next we need to print D5CNT, no? So that is why after printing this colon, we are taking this D5CNT here, then D4CNT, then D3CNT, D2CNT, D1CNT, D0CNT, and then again we are going back to this one again to print the D5CNT, because it is incrementing its value now, right? So we are printing this value, then come here 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Again you come 5, 4, 2, 1, 0. Again you come back. So this operation is keep repeating, because we no need to go back here to print this value again, because there is no any changes in the statement or text that we want to print on the LCD, right? So I needed to come back again and here only. So this is the value that is updating. This is the value that is updating in the design. So we are coming back here and printing now. Now, from where these values are coming? D5CNT, D4CNT, no. So some section should work for the giving this value also here. Those section is here now. These are all the counter sections. So these two sections are parallelly working now, right? So that is the most important advantage of our FPGA now, right? 1 second here. Hello? ये अभी मैं लेक्चर में गया, लेक्चर आने के बाद मैं आ रहा है, सर को थोड़ा बोला, मैं उधर आ रहा है, 2 o'clock, ओके ओके, सर कनेक्ट करो कनेक्ट करो सर, कनेक्ट करो अभी. சார் வணக்கம். நான் உங்களை 2 நாளா பார்க்க ட்ரை பண்ண, நீங்க இல்ல அல்லது பிஸியா இருக்கீங்க. நான் அந்த ஃபைலை வந்துட்டேன் சார். நான் எல்லாம் இருக்காங்க சார், எல்லாம் நான் மட்டும் தான் வந்தேன். இப்போ நான் வந்து சொல்றேன், ஏதாவது போட்டு மேட்டுக்கிட்டே கூட்டு இழுத்துறான் சாருங்கிறேன். வீணா போன சின்னூண்டு மேட்டருக்கு பெருசா பூதாகரத்தை கொடுத்துட்டேன். நான் அவனு பயந்து சொல்லி வந்து சொல்றேன் உங்கள்கிட்ட வரேன். நான் மேடம் போயிட்டாங்களா பத்திரமா அங்க சென்னைக்கு? போலீங்களா சார்? ஏன் சார் அப்புறம் போல? சரிங்க சார், நான் வரேன் சார், 2 மணிக்கு வரேன் சார் நான். ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சார். Okay, so So now we need to come back here now. So from where that counter is coming now? So all are parallelly working. See, all the process is parallelly running here now, right? This LCD will not depend on this one now, but it will take value from here to this section for display purpose, right? But this has no any control over here. This has no any control over here. All are working for the rising edge of same master clock, right? At a different speed based on the application. So this is there now. This is the 0th display now. This is the 0th display. Now this is the 0th display. So D0 CNT will updated here. You know the reason why we start from the 30 because 30 means it is 0. Then this is a D1, this is a D2 and so on till T5 now, right? So it is something like that. Here LCD is here. I will see you all. So suppose something like this. Suppose LCD part is here, counter part is here. So the LCD is initializing everything and then printing. Then it will come back here. It will pick up the D5 value. It will print here. Then it will take D4 print, D3 print, D2 print. So this action is happening inside the architecture now. You understand? But this fellow will give the value whenever this fellow wants here now. So this fellow will take the D5 whenever it goes to that particular state. It will take a D5, then it will print here. Then D4, D3, D2, D0, D1, right? So this fellow is working on its own speed now. Right. So this is the idea. This is the idea behind this logic now. So that is why this till D5 counters we are running here now, right? So clock 4 is there. Clock 0 to clock 4 is working for totally 5 counting. So 0th counting, clock 0, first counting, second counting, third counting, fourth counting, and then fifth counting. So totally 6 countings are there. Now your design is fine, right? Simulation also is done, and assume that implementation also is done. Now it is working. Now we needed to understand what kind of architecture we build in this program now, right? So that architecture only we needed to publish, or we needed to send for publication, or we needed to give it in the scientific report now. Because people will not ask you for code. Even if you give the code, nobody can understand, right? Because there are 1,000 lines, 2,000 lines programs are there. How the people will understand now? So they are not interested in your program, right? But program is essential for the engineers. But for the management to publish your result in the technical report, scientific report, or in the journal, we needed to plot the architecture. So how do we draw the architecture now? Not RTL. I do not mean the RTL. RTL is at the factory level. I mean that the foundry level. Based on the internal resources, it will occupy, right? So for example, I'm telling one counter now, how the counter will be implemented is in the RTL now, but we needed to draw to the top level architecture, what is actually made using this program now. So look there, some library files you choose though, NDT you choose though. There are 2 inputs, clock and reset into the FPGA. So this is the box FPGA, right? All our program will sit inside now. So to clock and reset, 2 inputs are there. Then how many outputs are there? C and D are the outputs. C is 3 bits, D is 8 bits. Ye ho gaya. Then what is the first process now? Every process is one module in our implementation. So first process gets the input and reset. So it gets reset also, no? Then this input should go there also. Okay. So the DCM1, the Digital Clock Manager 1, gets the clock as well as reset into as the input into it. Then it compares with the 2000, then it generates one output that is a clock signal 0. The clock signal 0 is coming out here now, right? This is one module that is nothing but P1. That is nothing but process 1 now. So process 1, if you open, then there is one counter, there is one comparator, right? Then there is one edge detector. So all those things are inside there. But that is what we call the RTL diagram, because RTL will take care of implementing this process now, right? But at the top level, we made one DCM. That the DCM output is the clock signal 0. That the clock signal 0 goes into state transition module. So this is called a state transition module. Matlab, the next state will go to the present state whenever the clock signal 0 gives rising edge into that particular module now. So whenever the rising edge comes here, something like this, whenever this rising edge comes here, then what this fellow is doing, this fellow is whatever is available in the next state is assigned into the present state. It is something like that. Present state, no, the next state is assigned into the present state. That is the job of this state transition module, nothing else. Then the present state, no, that present state goes into this control memory, this control and data memory. Control and data memory in the sense, see, you have here D should be this value and C should be this value. Then C should be this value. Again, D should be this value. So all these assignments will be stored in one memory. Will be stored one memory. So based on the state value, present state value, that respective value will come out. Because D has a lot of options there, C has a lot of options there. So based on the state value, some value will come out now. So all those D and C are stored here. Are stored here now. Apart from this one, then that state assignment also is happening now. The next state update. Next state update also is happening in this block now, right? So this is happening with respect to our present state now. So some value will come here, then this multiplexer, all those values will go there. Then this multiplexer will choose any suitable value based on the present state, then it gives out. It gives out now. So this memory not only gives you C and D value, C and D of D for different value, but also it gets value from some other module, some other counting modules. See now, D5 CND, D4 CND, D3 CND, no. So therefore, we needed to give that architecture also here. So for this counting section, there is one more DCM, DCM2. That DCM gets the same master clock here and then reset also. So that fellow is generating clock signal. See here, this is the clock signal which is coming out of the second DCM. That DCM is for the counting purpose, counting operations now. So this DCM speed and this DCM speeds are different, right? That depends upon the application. Obviously, this counting should be low speed and this should be high speed now. Because if it is a high speed, then it will miss some values here now. So this should be low speed, this should be high speed now, right? So we have given 2000 there, we have given here, I think 2 lakhs here, 2 lakhs. So that the clock is coming out. Again, this is also the rising edge now. So this clock goes into the 0th counter. So 0th counter is counting from 30 to 39 now. So whenever it reaches 9, that they will give trigger to this counter, so that this fellow will go from 30 into 31 now. Then whenever it reaches 39, this fellow will give the counter clock trigger here. So like that, all these counters are working now. Understand? So all these values are also connected to this particular module now. So whenever the state comes to that particular module, it will take this value and then it will send into outside LCDs connected here. This is our LCD now. So this entire architecture is sitting in the FPGA now. Here one LCD, here two tip switches, clock input and then reset switch now. That's all. So this is what we called digital architecture of this design. Understand now, quantum people?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for every design, we needed to plot the architecture finally. That architecture is important. Architecture is essential now. So I have given here 6 different counter. You can come up with some new method that with the 2 counter itself we can do, sir, because of some intermediate picking. So some different logic you can follow now. But anyway, every logic will finally result into the architecture. That architecture is important. Any questions on this one, please ask me. How to plot the architecture now?
Sir,
No.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Ask Meghna.
Sir, can you show that presentation, that code?
1 minute.
In that, the process P5. Sir, I can't see your screen actually.
Oh. You unable to see my screen?
Now it's fine. Okay, sir, in that process P5, we are taking that 3-5. A condition is taken, no D count equal to 3-5. Why are we taking that?
Okay, good. But you didn't attend that parallel counting. You are the Vivado or Xilinx?
Vivado.
Then you, okay, right. Anyway, I will tell you. See, it is something like this. The reason is, suppose this is one counter. This is another counter. This is one counter. This is another counter. Maybe you like C not CNT, D1 CNT now. We are giving the trigger here, right? Some trigger is coming from here. So I'm taking, this is a clock 3 now, right? This is obviously clock 2 then, clock 2. Now, you listen the logic here, Meghna. We know that this fellow will give the count value from 0 to 9 now, right? So assume when it goes to 0 to 9 at this instant, I'm applying on rising edge here now, right? So it is a clock 3 is a 0. When it reaches 9, I'm giving on rising edge now. How do I give the rising edge now? Normally we use this logic, no? Clock 3 is equal to naught of clock 3. Clock 3 is equal to naught of clock 3. Correct, no? So this instruction already clock 3 is 0. When you take the complement, then it will be going into 1, right? That means a rising edge is applied now. The idea is when this counter reaches 0 to 9, then the clock 3 may one rising edge is applied so that this counter value will be now 1. This counter value will be now 1. Now you assume it is 1 now, right? So that means 0 to 9 is detected, intimated into this counter. Therefore, this counter incremented. Now this counter is initialized into 0. Again, it is going to 9 now. It is going to 9. Now again we have to apply this one now because this is 9 now. Again, you take the complement here. If you take clock 3 equal to naught of clock 3, this fellow will come down to 0 now. Will come down to 0. That means this 0 to 9 count is not intimated into this D1 because this D1 count will work only for the rising edge now. Only for the rising edge now. So this is now falling edge is applied. Therefore, this is remain 1 only. Remain 1 only now. So 0 to 9, again 0 to 9. So now it becomes 1. Here also it is 1 only now. You understand now, Meghna?
Yes, sir.
So now what we needed to do? Again, if you allow, then again this counter will go to 0 to 9. Now you are applying one rising edge here. So now your count will become 2. That means every 0 to 9, your subsequent counter will not become 1, will not increment, right? Every alternative count only, your D1 count will be incremented because we are using the logic so. So what we needed to do then? So when it reaches 0 to 9, I am taking one complement, I am applying one rising edge. So that is intimated into this one now. So before this counter goes to 9, I got to bring it back. I got to bring it back now. So what I'm doing, I'm applying here 0 to 9. So when it is in the 5 or 6 somewhere, I'm taking one time complement. So this fellow will come down here. Now this fellow with 0. When it goes to 9, again I will take one complement. So the rising edge will be applied. So every 0 to 9, your subsequent counter will be intimated to increment its value now. That is the reason why do you want to bring that 1 to 0 in between before the counter reaches the 9. You understand now?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Meghna, that is the reason now. That is the reason. See, if we are checking first, whether this is a 5 or not. If it is 5, 1 second you complement karo. Therefore, that 1 will come to 0 now. Understand?
Okay.
Then when it is 9, then obviously 1 second you are taking the complement. Therefore, the rising edge will be applied. So every 0 to 9 will be intimated into your subsequent counter for its increment. Now got the idea, no?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Very good, Meghna, because you thought this much depth, no? That is important. Because I am telling you, whenever you write the program, you write, learn by doing. That is important. That is the principle my professors told me. Learn by doing, right? Learn by reading and then learn by doing. Whatever you're reading, you try to do it. Then only you will come to know. Whenever you are doing, you will get a lot of doubts clarified. You will come to know so many doubts. Then so many steps, so many shortcuts, then so many algorithms you will find. So that is why I'm asking you to practice, Aisa. But anyway, this COVID-19 completely collapsed our agenda, our plan, everything. Anyway, I did the maximum that is possible. The software I gave you, so please practice there now. Any more questions on this one? From anybody? No. Okay, then we are moving into vending machine controller. If no questions, we will go into vending machine controller. What is that? I told you page number no for LCD 217. You can refer in my book 217. What is the page number for vending machine controller? Any idea for anybody? Vending machine controller 293, correct na?
Yes, sir.
Vending machine controller page number 293. You can refer also baat mein. VMC vending machine controller page number 293. Okay, I think we have seen already vending machine controller no, with some logic or not.
Yes, sir. We have seen it, sir.
We have seen it no. So the basic function आपका मालूम ना? Hello, all of you.
Yes, sir.
So basic function you know, right? The state transition also we have done or not? Okay, anyway, I will tell you. For Xilinx people also we discussed or not? Xilinx people.
No, sir.
No, no. Okay. Okay, right. I will give you some idea then. I will give you idea, no problem. See, this vending machine controller, no, that is one very popular controller because which will give logic for so many other applications like a traffic light control, escalator control, then object separation robot, and then what is that? Dark finding robots, line follower robot. You can say so many applications. This vending machine will give logic, some idea to think logic for this kind of different applications now. What happened? One minute, yeah, I got to log in again. How to log in? Fine. So now the idea is, suppose this is the vending machine controller. Vending machine controller. Then this is some controls are there. Some display also will be there. Maybe some LEDs we will take for display. And then these are all some solenoid control. Maybe we have drink 1, drink 2, drink 3, right? Then this may be red color LED, this may be yellow color LED, this may be green color LED, and this is the coin sensor. We have to drop the coin here only, right? Coin sensor. There are so many methods to sense the coin. Image processing is there, then weight based sensing is there, right? And then some optical sensor also is there. So it will capture that image. Either somewhere number is written, no, like that. There are 3-4 methods, right? That will sense the coil. Now this is commercially available. This is not of our interest also because we are working. We have to work on inside this machine only now. Vending machine control. So suppose we assume that 5 rupees is the cost we needed to pay to get any kind of a drink here. Then drink selection input also will be there. 3 inputs are there, assume. So the idea is now, the logic is, suppose we are dropping 5 rupees here, then this coin will sense it, right? And then it will inform into this vending machine controller. Now our vending machine controller should glow this yellow color LED. If yellow color LED glows means you can choose the drink here. We can choose the drink here now, right? So that is already displayed somewhere in the chart. So maybe drop your coin. Right? Insufficient coin, red color LED on. Sufficient coin, yellow color LED. Drink delivery by green color LED. Something, some instructions given to the operators, users, right? So when I drop here 5 rupees, the sensing this unit will inform to the controller. So controller will on this one, and then it will display something in the LCD somewhere there. Select your drink, or voice out also can be brought out. AP9600 is a voice playback IC. AP9600 is a voice playback IC. So you can use any kind of system to inform to the user. So once the LED is on, and then it says that choose your drink, then there are 3 drinks. You can press the button here. You can press any button. You press the button, then this drink will be delivered to you. That this drink corresponding to this one. Then there is a cup here. Then right, you can collect your drink, and then you can take your drink now. This is the straight away operation. Suppose I am putting here a 2 rupees coin. 2 rupees coin. Then the system should not allow me to select the drink. The system should ask me to put the remaining amount. In that case, your LED should be on. Your red color LED should be on, telling that please drop the coin. Drop the coin. Drop the coin. Something like that. So again, I am putting on 2 rupees. Again, I am putting 1 rupees. In that case, now the process should be taken into the state where the select your drink was displayed in the earlier. Right? So it is something like that. It is a sequential operation now. Right? State machine now. So if the cost is sufficient, then go to this one. Cost is insufficient, then come here. Again, you measure the cost. Again, you count. Again, you count. Then you come here. So at one stage, whenever we receive the sufficient amount, then we should go into the particular state from where we begin our drink delivery process now. Right? So see, it is a combination of different logic now. So this one is the sufficient coin in the first attempt. Another one is the insufficient coin. So you are taking the loop, you are taking the state here, 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 like that. So this is the second method. Third method is, suppose that person is dropping 10 rupees coin. 10 rupees coin. Or the person is dropping 5 2 rupees coin. Understand now? Or the person is dropping 3 2 rupees coin. 6 rupees, something like that. 10 rupees, 6 rupees. So when he is putting extra coin, then the system should inform to our vending machine controller, our controller, then controller should give him balance also now. So the balance delivery here. The coin balance will come out here now. Understand? So just like that, we are taking no coffee, all those things, Coke, then some drinks in the airport or somewhere, no. So uske piche, hamara algorithm is working there now. So this kind of system, this kind of algorithm, this kind of architecture is running the display ko piche now. So we are comfortably putting 100 rupees coin in the airport vending machine, and then we are selecting the drink, and we are getting, and we are collecting the balance 50 rupees also, no. But as an engineer, as a scientist, we are looking in this point of view, how that fellow is doing all these operations, right? So automatically that conveyor will be shifted here, then one new drink will come and get dropped there, right? So all those things are taken care by the vending machine controller. The vending machine controller is the heart now. Understand? So there will be so many states now. Initial state, then you go here, then you come here, go there, like this. So finally it will come to one state. From here, drink will be delivered, then it will come back into this state now. So this is the overall idea of the vending machine controller. Vending machine controller. So in-depth discussions we have made already. So you maybe share that material to them. Vaishnavi, you have that materials with you?
Sir, it was just one state diagram, sir. That's it, sir. No theory was said. It was just a class. That recorded lecture is uploaded in YouTube.
Oh, acha, aisa way. Okay, then this is the vending machine controller now. So the idea is now we needed to insert the coin, and then we needed to select the drinks, right? And then delivery valve will be on for some time. Then that should be off now. It is solenoid valve. Typically, we use solenoid valve. Therefore, after completing all these actions, then if the user select this drink, then it is 0. It should be 1 for some time. Then again it should be 0. The one time we are switching on that drink. I mean the valve, something like that. If you go to some hotel, no, if you drop your hand, here is the water tap, there is a sensor, then automatically pani will come. If you bring it out, pani will be stopped. Delivery will be stopped, no. So like that, that solenoid valve will be there. Solenoid valve will open that valve, then drinks will come out. Then after some time, it will close it now. Then your cup will be filled. So you can take that drink now. So the idea is now vending machine control means you needed to have the coin input according to our control. I am telling you, right? From our design point of view, we should know what is the cost value now. Then what is the indication say to inform the status of that vending machine to the user, and then drink selection, and then drink delivery now, and then drink delivery now, right? So we needed to build the digital system and then architecture for this application for the FPGA now, right? So with this knowledge, we will go into one design example. There we will understand. I will command this one, then I will open the second example. One second. Oh, sorry, I didn't bring here because one second, I will take. I thought that the program is already taught to you. 1 second, I will bring it here now. The code is not given you on the day, right?
No, sir, just state diagram was explained.
Okay. Okay, 1 minute, and I will take the program here. Okay. Fine. Now you look there. Now we are going to design one vending machine controller now, right? So we know the theory, what is vending machine controller, how does it work now? We will see now design. You read this one now. 6.12 no? Okay. Now based on this one, this statement, and then this entity, you make the input and output details of the FPGA. What are all the inputs there? Port A is one input. A, clock is another input, then C is output. What is the size? 3 bits, and another output is D, is the size 8 bit, and also OCLK is output, OCLK, and one more output SDV, SDV, right? A is input, or A is of 3 bits. I think that is coin input. Clock is input, C is the output of 3 bits, D is output of 8 bit, output clock, OCLK, and then SDV. Okay, these are all the inputs now. These are all the inputs. All of you clear in this one? Hello? Hello? Okay. Next, we proceed the design now. Please look into this one now. Look into this one now. Now you see there, the signal ST, NST, integer range is 0 to 5 now. 0 to 5. This is another way of declaring the signal. Another way of declaring the state now. Signal ST, state, next state. Here it is the integer state. 0, 5. See, the state can be declared in any way. Maybe S0, S1, S2, S3, S4, or 0, 1, 2, 5, or A, B, C, D, or X1, X2, X3. Because the number of state is only the matter. The state variable is not the matter for final implementation. If it is 2 states, only 1 flip-flop will be used. If it is 3 states, 2 flip-flop. If it is 4 states, 5 flip-flops. So 2 power n states can be represented using the n flip-flops, right? So here it is declared. In the previous case, no, we have put no like this, signal S0, S1, S2, S3, na. So this is not needed. Type state is S0, S1, S2, S3. So like that, you no need to give all the states here. This is another way of representation. So state, next state, it is an integer state ranging from 0 to 5. Initially, the state is 0. Then signal, deposit, balance, F, right? We will see what does F mean subsequently. Deposit, balance, F, ST logic vector 7 down to 0, also 8 bit. Also 8 bit now, right? These are all signals. Then signal T, integer ranging from 0 to 3. This is also another signal, integer ranging from 0 to 3. Then signal clock 0, clock signal, all are the signals. Signal next state, STA, NSTA, integer ranging from 0 to 17 now. Do you understand all the declaration first of all of you? That means this many variables are required for our design inside. So state, next state, STA, NSTA, clock 0, T, depot, balance, F, all are our variables that we are going to use in our design. Shall I go ahead? This is clear?
Yes, sir.
Next, then go to process, P1. What is a P1, you tell me? What is happening in P1?
For raising it, it is going to next stage.
That's all. The NSTA goes into STA, that's all. State transition happens. Correct, no? Whenever the rising edge comes, the NSTA goes into STA. NSTA goes into STA. That's all. That much only happening in the P1. Then you come to P2. What is a P2? See, this state that 11 R, 13 R, this means R, 15 R, 17 R. That means whether state is 11, this will be executed. 17 also this will be executed now. That means it is always the after giving one rising edge, then it will be, the state will take it back to the falling edge. You see this LCD part. This is the LCD part actually. The P2 is the LCD part. Just you try to understand that P2 part.
So what's the difference between ST and STA, the signals that is?
No any difference. No any. That's the variable we use.
Okay, but okay, so no issues.
One variable AB, because we are going to use them in different places.
Okay, sir, no issues.
That is why we use it. You can use ABC also, no issue.
Okay, sir.
Try to understand the P2. Why is 38? See, till some time command is there. Then command, then some text will be there. You tell me what is the text and which row it will be displayed. Any doubt in P2, you ask me. Carefully you analyze, line by line analyze. But this is also the state diagram. This is also is the state. But it is not the controlling state, right? It is only regular one-to-one, it is moving, uncontrolled states. Control state will be in the final next process. For example, if it is 0, then automatically it will go to 1, then 1, then it will go to 2, 2, then it will go to 3. So there is uncontrolled transitions in the LCD. Uncontrolled state transitions. But in vending machine control section, there is a controlled transition. If 2 rupees comes, go here. If 1 rupee comes, go here. 5 rupee comes, go here. Right now, that is what we call the controlled state transition.
So, sir, this states are mentioned like 1 to 7, 0 to 70. They are exactly what actually?
That means 0 to 70 is there, no? The
Yes, sir.
0 to 70 states are required to complete this LCD display action.
Okay. For LCD display action, we are using this 70 states.
We are using 70 states, correct.
Okay, so, but how come we know that it will be requiring 70 states? Means there can be some reduction also, right? Here we can further reduce it, or it's the optimized.
But how can you reduce it? If possible, you should reduce it, no?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Because we are using like this, no? Next state equal to state plus 1 we are using, no?
Yes, sir.
So all the time it will get increment, no? One time.
Okay, okay, sir.
So, but you can handle it. Doesn't mean that 70 states are required. In this logic, I used 70 states. If you use some other logic, no, you can reduce it also.
Okay, sir. No issues.
But idea is whatever you wanted to do, you should do.
Okay, sir.
Okay, no? That means we have to initialize the LCD, then we have to print some character, and then we have to take some value and then display it there. So this action should happen. For that, you can follow any logic. You can do it with 50 states also, no issue. Understood, no?
Yes, sir.
But it can be done with the 35 states also. In another example, you can see, if you see in my book, no, subsequently, we have done same thing with the 35 states also.
Okay, sir. No issues.
Let's the line by line you see, then you ask me in wherever you have any doubt. So you tell me what is the text we are printing on the LCD and where do we print? Shashank, did you understand? Hello.
Sir, the program is not visible, sir.
Oh, okay. हाँ अभी देखो. Same logic, na, that we have to register, select, read, write, enable. Enable rising edge, enable falling edge.
Sir, what happened to this odd state, sir, when state 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, you have
That means see, suppose when 0, no, when 0, we are applying some value into D, then we are applying some value into control, correct, no?
Yes, sir.
Then next state is 1, then you go to 1. In 1 may you are just bringing the enable down. Understood?
Okay, sir.
Then we are going to next state equal to state plus 1. Then go to do. Then state 2 may you are assigning some value, no, 0C to D, and then you are applying the clock there. Understood, no?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then again I should bring the enable back, no? So next state equal to 3 now. Again you are going back and doing the same operation. So instead of writing again and again, we are using the OR. Understand?
Okay, sir.
Because once you apply,
So that means, sir.
uh,
So, sir, in this odd states, we are means bringing down the enable.
yes, that's all. Yeah.
We are only using the event states for the means displaying LEDs.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Because you after applying the enable, you should bring it down, no? So instead of writing 1, 2, niche, we have written in one place. When 1, same action. When 3, that action only. When 5, that action. Like that we have written there. To reduce the number of lines, that's all. But logic remains same. Okay, we'll do one thing. You all of you check later, maybe. Vaishnavi,
Yes, sir.
today afternoon you all are busy, right?
Sir, 3 to 4 is available, sir, if you can take class.
3 to 4 we have one testing today. Maybe 2:30. 3 to 4 you are telling.
Yes, sir. 4 to 5 we have a maths class.
Maybe 6 to 7, something like that.
No, sir, I am having class, sir.
6 to 7 you have class.
Yes, sir.
Vaishnavi, tomorrow you can't find any 2 hours continuously tomorrow. Morning.
Tomorrow you have your class, no, sir. Continuous hours.
Tomorrow is Tuesday, no?
Oh,
It is
11 to
12.
1.
11 to 1 or 12 to 1 for us tomorrow?
Actually, it is 11 to 1 is also your hour, sir, but you said you can't take previously. So 11 to 1 is your hour. It is free.
Then okay. Then 11 to 1 we will take tomorrow. Okay, no?
Okay, sir.
No,
Okay.
sir, 11 to 12, Dheere sir will be taking, sir.
For you.
Yes, sir. 12 to 1 is okay. 12 to 2 you can take, sir.
12 to 2 otherwise.
Sir, 1 to 2 is lunch break, and from 2 to 3 we have other class.
Acha. So you discuss and then you let me know time then. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, Sai. Okay then.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. We will continue tomorrow then.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, all of you know, copy this program in your Xilinx and then just you go through it. All of you go through it just so that the basic logics and all you could have understood now already.
Yes, sir.
Sir, this
Okay.
program can you send in the WhatsApp, sir?
I already sent it.
Okay, sir.
Oh, this code is not there now. Okay, okay, fine,
No,
fine.
no, no.
No, I will send you. I will send you now. Right now, I will send you. Okay, okay.
Okay,
I
sir.
understood. Understood. Okay, then tomorrow we will. Yes.
So will you please also send the digital architecture of that counter?
Counter means our which this one you are telling?
So the picture of this page.
You mean this one, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Okay, I will send. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, 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 sir.